I'm really passionate about this, and I actually view it as really central to contemplative transformation, because growing in God, and folks in the mystical tradition, all the way back to Origin, have really said it is what you do with your desire. And
Mm.
this is also one reason I love the 12 steps, because the 12 steps are a proven mechanism, model that gives tools to work with our addictive desires. And I use addictive in a larger frame, because we're all addicted. We're addicted to our thinking. I'm addicted to being right, to checking my phone, to any number of things. So we're all addicted. And the quest for more creates addiction culture. We're addicted to fossil fuels. That we could talk about this on global scale and deeply personal scale. So interrupting and channeling desire in the proper way. And what I mean is, I'm thinking one of my favorite theologians, her name is Sarah Coakley. She talks about the right reordering of desire towards God. It doesn't mean desire is wrong. We could have a whole conversation about evangelical repression of sexuality and desire. Desire is not wrong, but desire, if it's only more, will lead to addiction and more suffering. And so part of the contemplative path is to redirect desire, to affirm desire, to celebrate desire, and redirect it to God, to its proper, to limitations and its simplicity, to not regulation of desire, but boundaries of desire.
That correlation between, I mean, yeah, even going back to my example, it's what I'm craving when I'm doom scrolling is rest.
Yes.
That's what I'm craving is, and not only rest, but a detachment from the loops that have been going in my mind that day. So I'm trying to disconnect. I'm trying to find rest. But then I put my phone down. Like, that's the other part of the story. Like, I put my phone down during this time. I don't do that all the time, but this time I did. And I found a sense of rest through my children,
Yep.
and I was going to be there with them anyway. So why not be present with them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's like am I tracking with you? That like, there's like a deeper desire there, but you need the contemplative path to help you to become aware of the deep things in your heart that are calling out to you. Am I? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And people are on different paths. Everybody's exploring this in different ways, and so I'm not claiming to have the right way.
Yeah, yeah.
But what has been really helpful for me is to commit to a rule of life in community that has shared prayer practices that we commit to each day. It doesn't mean we fulfill them perfectly, but it's saying, like, I want this to be a container in which I live my life. And when I do an evening prayer or a compline and a very short examine, I binge less TV right before I go to bed. And I rest. My body rests, because there's unmetabolized.
And you binge less cereal.
Yeah, and I binge. Well, nighttime is the cereal binging time, or the extra beer, or whatever,
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's that examine practice and an evening prayer practice. And I'm like, often I could really start off, feel connected, chant a couple Psalms in the morning, do a meditation. But as the day goes by, so that evening practice has really, and that's where I'm working right now. Cause sometimes I often forget, and I love TV and movies. So like, we could talk about the sacredness of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also an escapism and a need to rest of scrolling and just getting on our phones. And I just want. But when I do an examine practice or evening, a short evening prayer, it helps me metabolize the day, and by which I mean it helps me catch up, my body and my feelings catch up with my awareness, and even if ever
That's
so
a great way
slightly.
to put it.
And then I can feel my body settle. It's like, oh, I'm settling now. Okay, I can show up, or I can go to bed, but I could be present to my kids and do bedtime with a little less checked outness.